Okay. Um. Yeah, I just got finished exercising again. Uh. I don't know what is going on YouTube. It will say that it's only like 4 viewers or something like that, or I have 1 view. But then I'll get these emails saying they watch my video and asking me questions about it. So that's kind of weird because I get more freaking emails than freaking it looks like on views. So I don't know if YouTube is trying to like not putting them up at the same time or what. But from my last, I want to say the third from the last video that I made, it was a comment talking about uh how my life it should be better and that I don't really have to struggle and all that. Hello, I'm a normal person. Do you see this? Okay. Yes, I do pageantry. Yes, I do a lot of stuff. But I'm just like every freaking person, okay? Um just because I don't do drugs, especially I got this one comment. It said, I have to remember, it was talking about I would never know the struggle of my mom because I never did drugs. I never been influenced by drugs, and that I needed to just stop it. And I was just like, okay, wow. Like, although some of those points were valid, that can be like totally false, okay? First of all, like I said, when anyone is dealing with some kind of mental illness or any kind of situation that leads to them having to be on drugs or using drugs, it affects everybody around them, okay? If you don't believe me, ask those kids who are in the system. Ask those kids who are in foster care because their mom and their dad is too high to take care of them and they tried to take care of them or they tried to take care of their own selves. Ask those kids who are and this is in the Americas too. It's not just, in Great Britain or in Dubai. Ask those kids how they're taking care of themselves. They're living and being emancipated and, having to deal with big people, adult situations. Um, and no one's there for them. It hurts everyone. Ask that mother who's seen their kid that had all this potential, and just because they hooked up with the wrong person in the wrong crowd, all their whole life shifted to where that whole, that crowd, they're still doing bad, and they turned on them, and then their whole kid's future is just dismantled, and now they're left shattered, picking up the pieces. Like, so for them to say, yeah, I would never understand. Yeah, I would never understand that first puff. I would never understand that first snort. I would never understand that first injection because I never had that, that experience. But what I have had is being without my parents, looking at my dad through a freaking deportation wire in a freaking cage, because it was literally a cage, like a cage that you have like an animal in a whole big long cage. I've had that experience. I've had the experience of seeing my mama shacked up in handcuffs and being poked by a guard with his little tassel, like in the handcuffs, messing with her when she's already out of her mind, not thinking correctly. I've seen that, I've had the experience of walking around the streets trying to find my mom, putting up signs, traveling around when I was 15, 16 years old, trying to find out where my mom is at, and then have to get up in the morning and still attend school, still attend class, still go and run track, still go and play basketball, still go and work, and come back home like nothing else happened. So for any person to even think that that is possible, it's not. I also have the privilege of, dealing with it in my adult life when people are rejoicing, they're rejoicing about their accomplishments, about their family that they're producing, you know, and me to go where their parents are usually, very supportive of them, having to deal with um, my mom. with her illness, taking care of her. So, um, yeah, I have a normal life too. I have obstacles that there might not be the worst, because I'm sure that there are always cases that are worse, and that's why I'm grateful for what God has given me to handle. But at the same time, it's like, don't get it twisted. Like, I have issues too. That's just life. That's a part of it. Secondly, about, what did he say? Um, Secondly, about the system. I work in social services system. I never wanted to, because um, it took a toll on me as a kid in my mind. Seeing all that, you like, I don't want anything to do with it. And that's why I kind of strayed away so far from not, staying away from the system. And I saw how so much. There are a lot of good things that the system is designed for, but a lot of things that I've seen that were not healthy as a kid, that I saw what the system was doing, that was just unjust, that for me, I made this whole bubble to protect myself, uh, to stay away from any kind of thing that was illegal, period. Even if someone did something to me that was illegal, and that was horrid, I would just try to not even talk about it, report it, you know because of looking at to me, was the bigger picture. It was like, if I had to deal with this, if I have to come face to face to this, would it really solve a problem? Would it really solve the problem? And sometimes it's no. So, um, yeah, that takes a lot of toll on the person that's going through it. It's almost like you're going through it twice. It's almost like you're going through it with them, because you're not having that companionship. You're not the illness and the drugs and everything else is taking that person away from you. So and then you have to find ways to cope. I really had to find ways to cope. I didn't have my parents to go to the dances, or to the basketball games to root me on, or when I was MVP of the volleyball team, and doing the academic Super Bowl. I didn't have that. I had to go and look, and do other things. And to cope with that, I had family members who were around supporting me, and took guardianship, but that took a toll on them too. My grandmother was like in her 60s, almost 70s, when she started taking care of me. So it takes a toll. It takes a toll. um no, I want to say 50s, 50 something. you know yeah, because she was 30 years, yeah, 50 something, like 55, 56. So and she had a lot of health issues, because you're taking on other people's stress and stuff. You don't really take care of yourself. So it takes it takes a lot. Secondly, it was about, they were asking me, how do I cope? Um, I used to cope by, like, being sometimes a workaholic. Um, I would just put a lot of work in front of me and just do it. But um, after a while, that kind of bothers you, and it doesn't work. So my outlet now is well, it's been that since I was a kid, is running. Uh, I definitely run, because it alleviates a lot, and it helps me not to get in a lot of trouble. You'll see a lot of kids, they went through this, and you'll see them, because their mom and their dad wasn't there, and people, shun them out, that they kind of took to a whole nother route, or they think, well, since my mom and my dad is this, I gotta be this. You don't, so, and I made that choice a long time ago to not let my life dictate that. Yeah, my mom went through a horrible situation. My dad did too. And, I didn't choose to be here. I really didn't. But since I am here on this planet, I'm going to do the best that I possibly can to give my life, do whatever my life is supposed to be, make a good reflection of it. So that's my outlet. I run. I do makeup. I know that sounds crazy because I don't really have makeup on. That's because I do a lot of testing. Um, and that helped me with my own business. That just turned to a lot. But people really don't understand, because I don't really. It's not about advertising or anything, but people don't understand uh, the death that comes in here. I have a life too. If this didn't impact my life, I wouldn't be making this channel. I still wouldn't be going as hard as I possibly could. Especially after all of the attacks. Both physical and paranormal. Okay. Um, yeah, it's tough. So, don't think of it. As that everyone has issues. Is what you decide on it to be. And yeah, I don't want anyone to think that I just am not taking my mom's side or anything like that. If that was the case, I wouldn't be trying to get her the help that she needs or bail her out or come and be around her. There are a lot of family members that leave and discard their families, and I don't want my mom to ever think that she is ever left alone. First of all, you're not alone ever in the world. Even when the person that you think is close to you died, God just didn't create you to be alone. But I don't want her to think that she doesn't have my support, and she doesn't have my love, first of all, because love conquers all. Um, so yeah, so that's why I'm going through this, and that's why I'm going hard. So please don't take that to offense. If you have any other comments and you want to know, questions, one person asked me, why do I say God a lot and I talk about God? And that's because, God really got me through this. Not saying that I went to a church and said, oh, God taught me who God was, and how he is really everywhere, and how he speaks to you, and how he works through you. So that's why I say God. And that is about it. Hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Please stay tuned to Journey to Jerusalem, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you.